Armed man gets fatally shot by Phoenix officers after robbing pawn shop. According to an updated police report that was made public on Sunday, detectives have identified the person they believe to be the robber who was shot and killed by Phoenix police on Saturday afternoon. They also made the statement that they had captured his accomplice. At approximately 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, Guy Vogel Jr., 42, was shot and killed by police officers who responded to a report of an armed robbery at a pawn shop located near the intersection of 19th Avenue and Indian School Road. So what took place? It was reported to the police that a man and a woman took several pistols from a pawn shop before leaving the establishment and heading west on Indian School Road, as stated by Sergeant Brian Bauer, a spokeswoman for the Phoenix Police Department. The call was received through the police department. Officers instructed the man to put his hands in the air and put his gun down, but the man did not comply with their instructions, according to Bauer. Following that, officers fired a foam projectile at Vogel, but Vogel managed to escape from them, as stated by Bauer. The statement was made by Bauer on Saturday. "We want to confront these dangerous individuals, and we want to try to change their pattern of behavior by using these less lethal tools." Bauer is quoted as saying, "During the authorities' pursuit of the individual, he made his way toward a truck and made an effort to get into the truck, which was owned by a single driver. When cops recontacted the individual, Bauer stated that the man aimed his firearm at them. It was at that moment that officers shot him by the driver's door." The body camera footage and other video footage from the robbery that occurred on January 27 and resulted in the death of 42-year-old Guy Vogel Jr. after he was shot by cops has been made public by the Phoenix Police Department as part of the agency's critical incident briefing, which is made public following any police shooting or death that occurs while an individual is in custody. The video footage that was disclosed by the police on February 10th is included. The briefings are narrated by officers and include edited compilations of film from body cameras, audio from dispatch, and other material about an incident. It was reported in the briefing that the incident took place at the intersection of 22nd Avenue and Indian School Road. According to an audio recording, the proprietor of a pawn shop said that 2 individuals, a man and a woman, took 2 firearms from his establishment. The owner then called the police to investigate the incident. The briefing that the police are giving also includes video footage that was taken inside the store. The video showed a man breaking a glass display and removing 2 firearms from the display before leaving the scene. According to the briefing, when the police came, the proprietor of the store pointed them in the direction of the pair who had been involved in the heist as they were walking west down 19th Avenue. The footage from the officer's body cameras showed an officer urging Vogel to drop the fucking gun, while simultaneously firing a foam launcher that was not extremely dangerous. It was said in the police briefing that the officer fired in the direction of Vogel. While Vogel was being pursued by law enforcement, 2 cops were heard telling him to get on your stomach and drop the fucking gun now. It can be heard that a man is saying to officers, "Fucking kill me, and kill me, pussies." This is not captured on camera. Vogel then approached a truck that was stopped in the roadway and began to hit the truck's window with a gun, attempting to get inside, according to the statement that was made by Sergeant Brian Bauer during the briefing. The body camera clips that are included in the movie do not contain any footage of Vogel using a gun to hit the window of the truck during the incident. On the other hand, images captured by 2 officers' body cameras revealed that officers opened fire on Vogel when he pointed a gun in their direction. Vogel was shot by 4 officers, and he was carried to a hospital, where he ultimately succumbed to his injuries and passed away. The individual was transported to a hospital, where it was determined that he had passed away, according to Bauer. The female suspect, who the police thought to be responsible for the robbery, was taken into custody by the authorities. The woman, who is 25 years old, was identified by the detectives as a participant in the heist, and it was claimed that she had been placed in the Maricopa County Jail. Whether or not she could be charged in connection with Vogel's death was not immediately stated by the police. In the video of the briefing, Bauer stated that the police had found the gun that Vogel had used. Sergeant Phil Krinsky, a spokeswoman for the agency, did not respond to a query posed by the Phoenix New-Times on whether or not the recovered firearm had been reloaded or whether or not the firearm displayed by the police in the video is one of the stolen firearms. Even though the New-Times requested the incident report, the police have not yet made it available to the public. The lady who took part in the heist, Felicia Evans, who is 25 years old, was taken into custody, according to the police. The charges against her include 3 counts of armed robbery and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Each of these charges is considered a felony. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office has begun a criminal investigation into the shooting, and the police department is conducting an internal review to determine whether or not officers followed department protocol. Fatal contacts with police officers in Phoenix in 2024. For almost 30 months, the United States Department of Justice has been conducting an investigation into the Phoenix Police Department in connection to patterns of force used by officers, discriminatory policing, and the treatment of people who are not housed and who are disabled. Chief Michael Sullivan was appointed to the position of department head in September 2022, at the time that the investigation was being conducted. In a public statement, the city of Phoenix is expressing its opposition to any independent oversight attempts made by the United States Department of Justice. The fact that the head of Phoenix's Office of Accountability and Transparency just resigned, however, is casting light on the fact that the city's ability to monitor its police department is lacking. As compared to 2022, the number of people who were killed by police officers in Phoenix increased to 12 in 2023. The following are examples of fatal confrontations with law enforcement in 2024. Senior Reyes, 30, was shot and murdered by law enforcement on January 5 after he fired at officers, causing one of them to be injured. Law enforcement officials stated that they were making an effort to apprehend Reyes, who was wanted for a felony warrant. John Michael Lewis Jr., 43, was shot and murdered by law enforcement officers on January 11 during what was initially a welfare check. When Lewis presented a weapon, the police stated that they had attempted to make contact with others who were inside the residence through the back door. Lewis was fatally shot by the police, and he was pronounced dead at his residence. Guy Vogel Jr., 42, was shot and killed by law enforcement officers on January 27. The officers responded to a complaint that a store had been robbed and guns had been seized. Vogel and a woman, whom the police suspected to be the suspects, were discovered by the police. Vogel fled and then produced a weapon after the officers gave him verbal directions and fired a launcher that was not specifically designed to kill human beings. As a first response, the police opened fire on him and hit him. Vogel was brought to a hospital, but from the injuries he sustained, he passed away. Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.